On this episode of Tasmanian Takeover, can the Jackies bounce back after a loss at HoopsFest? Is Archie Woodhill the man to replace Will Magnay? And does Scott Roth need to lift? This is the Ants Nest. March on, Jackies.
These JackJumpers, they just never say die.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Ants Nest for Tasmanian Takeover. We are a fans, for fans, by fans podcast where we talk everything JackJumpers basketball. This is our preview episode where we're going to talk about the JackJumpers' upcoming game versus the Sydney Kings. But first, let me welcome our guest and potential permanent guest. We don't know, as a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. My Devil's Den co-host. G'day, Fred. How you going, mate?
Good. How are we doing?
We're good. We're coming off a narrow 2-point loss to Melbourne United for HoopsFest. Unfortunately, Birdo can't be with us for this episode. You may have heard in the last episode his microphone getting slightly quieter, which some would argue was a pleasant change from Birdo's big voice that he usually booms into the mic with. So he's dropped out for this episode, but we'll be back next week. Mate, let's roll straight into it. I want to talk about the Sydney Kings and what we are going to do to dismantle them, because we've sort of had their measure this year. We're playing up at Qudos Bank Arena on Thursday the 22nd. They're currently third on the ladder with 16 wins, 9 losses, and they are averaging 111 points a game. How do you see this one going down?
Well, we've got to, despite us playing really well against the Kings, we've really got to tighten up our belts here. Given that, well, Will looks like he's not going to be playing. I'm just guessing. I'm not reporting anything. I'll put it out there now. But if he's not playing, it probably puts Bannon into the 5 spot, the centre position, and Majuk might have to come on, or even Johnson. So we'll probably have a pretty small lineup. You know, when we've got to handle Cooks and Davis and Galloway when he gets up and going is a bit dangerous, you know. Like, yeah, it's a tough task. It's a real tough task.
Absolutely. But I'm quietly confident. The last time we played them down at MyState Bank Arena, I don't know if you remember this game, but we absolutely smashed them.
Torched them.
We went at them. We went full offensive. It was our highest scoring game for the year, 104-81, and they just didn't have any answers for us. What do you remember about this game, mate?
I remember that Bannon had a pretty decent game. I think I've got the stats in front of me. It was 19 points and 8 rebounds. It's a very solid game. We didn't have Magnay, funny enough. That sort of puts us in a better light. Magnay did play. Take that back. Magnay played. He got 8 points, 7 rebounds. But it was played on our terms. We were playing really solid defense. You know, we kept them to 81. We were doing that thing where we just, you know, got up in their face, covered the weak side defense, switched out when they need to switch out. You can see the communication was happening very quickly, and everyone was really switched on to it because they were up for the task. Scott Roth and the team done their homework, and it paid off big time. You know, 104 in a game is huge.
Absolutely. It's sort of uncharted territory for the JackJumpers. We love to sit in that, you know, 75 to 90 sort of scoring range, and to come out and hit Sydney head on. I think it shocked them a little bit. Massive team performance. So as you mentioned, Bannon 19, Bryce the Toasty Hamilton with 22.
Toasty.
Ben Eyre 19 with probably his best game for the season. Even Archie Woodhill got a couple of points. If you're watching the highlights on the YouTube, have a look at Archie go absolutely nuts at the end of that game. And we may need to call on Archie again for this game, especially if Will Magnay's foot is as bad as we suspect. Which honestly I don't think is a bad thing. I'd love to see more of Archie Woodhill and see him fit into Will Magnay's into his boots, which unfortunately looks like it's probably going to be a moon boot for the next little while. We don't know anything recording this, but I was at the game on Saturday and it didn't look good. He did not.
No. Right, by the replays and all that, he sort of looked like he when he landed he jolted forward. So some people would call that a top of the foot ligament injury, or even he's had shocking injuries with his feet, and he's a big guy, big guy. So that could quite easily be a broken foot too. Like it's not out of the realm of possibilities right there. But we're hoping for the best. Hopefully it's just one of those. I think you've done it. I've done it where we've jumped or if you can jump, come down on your
white guys.
Just,
great.
No. You come down sort of flat landing. Like usually when you jump, your knees go with you and you shock absorb. But he landed and his legs were it wasn't as bent and taken in the shock as what it should have been, and that sort of jolted his foot forward and. It didn't look good at all. And just going by his reaction too, he waddled up the court and he went straight back down. And, you seen he was in a lot of pain. But, if Will does listen to this, mate, get well soon. And we want you back. And hopefully you come around again next year and you're bigger and stronger. But I'm not saying you're out. I just hope you get better soon, mate.
Hopefully it was just a bad case of cramp. That's what I'm hoping for.
Not enough pickle juice.
A bit more pickle juice. It can't hurt you to get some more of that into you, Will. All right, players to watch this game. I've got my eye, and this is a bit of an easy and obvious one, but Bryce Hamilton was the top scorer in this one. I'm picking the low hanging fruits for our player to watch this game. I've just got a sense he's building back to his early season form. He really took the game on a bit against Melbourne United for HoopsFest and had the last shot of the game and nearly dobbed it. But unfortunately it didn't go in. Jackies lose by 2 points. I think that'll fire him up. 22 points against them last time. Last game, he was 1 from 7 from the 3-point line. I don't expect to see stats like that again. I think Bryce is going to come fired up and ready to run at Sydney. And he's my player to watch because even though he's been having good games, I just feel like there's something bubbling away and we're about to see him explode. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on there. I don't think we'll see those numbers again duplicate for this game. Like I mentioned on the last pod, they were 20% from 3 the whole team. I'm hoping we don't see that again. Maybe, I don't know, the newer ball that they were using is a bit different in their hands. I really don't know. We sort of had a joke about it last one that they just looked so lethargic and probably had a late night. But yeah, I think I think they should come out, and really put on a good show. And Scott Roth and his team won't let that happen again. That sort of 3-point performance. Like I said, the defense was okay, but yeah, we're gonna have to really step up this one. But good choice with Toasty, mate.
Have you got anyone you're watching in particular this game?
Oh, this is 2 in a row. This is 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, it's not going to be Tiger. Unlucky.
I was expecting Tiger.
No. I'm piggybacking off you. Majuk. It's got to be Majuk. We need Majuk more now. Will's gone. We need him to really step up. Like he's been scoring. I think you mentioned it was a few 2s, a 4. There was a 21 there, and just single-digit scoring efforts. I understand that he does put a lot of effort into the defense, and it does take a lot of energy to play defense. But he's really, really got to step up. He's really got to, protect the weak side of the defense. Probably bring him back to the key a little bit instead of playing him out on a point of attack. So that point of attack sort of means they're sort of up on the 3-point line. They need to get him and push him back into the key a little bit, I think, and let him do his best work around there, offensively and defensively. I think we should park the 3-pointers for Majuk and really look for him and get him some nice open, clean layups and dunks and all the things we like to see. Even though I'd love to see him hit a bunch of 3s, I think he really has to make a presence down low and cause a bit of havoc down there.
So yeah, it's a great point. When was the last time we saw a mighty Majuk dunk? It's been far too long since we've seen those knees up around his ear holes. That's where Majuk is at his best, and he's just been a little bit off this season. And he's obviously a crowd favorite. Going to see the team at my state a couple of weeks ago, when Majuk come on the court, there was a roar like I haven't heard before.
Yeah, they love him.
We absolutely love him, and we want to see him really switch on, and we need him now more than ever. Like you said, with Magnay potentially out again, we don't know anything. It might be, it could be anything at this stage, but I think he's going to be out for an extended period, and we need guys like Josh Bannon and Majuk Deng to really step up. Because there is a massive hole now. You heard anything about Kobe Williamson? How far away is Kobe from coming back? Because he was a big get early in the season, and he hasn't really shown anything or gotten any minutes for the entire season.
Well, it seems like he might have even been played out of his position in a way. The other players are just probably playing that little bit better, and the coach has lost a bit of confidence in him. And you see this in basketball a lot. Whether it might be something external or his attitude, like it can really affect your minutes in the game. Maybe he didn't stick to the plan for his rehab, and it could be anything. And it could be just a slow burn, getting him back into the flow of things and getting him fired up for the finals, which it's a really normal thing for a basketball team to do. But like you said, there hasn't been much opportunity for him. Mate, if you ever seen the highlights package of him on YouTube and stuff like that, he's electric. He's a really, really good player. He knows where the bucket is for sure. And if he's back and firing on all cylinders, the league better look out, I think, because he's lightning quick. One
thing I took from his highlights package was his ability to just be an absolute brick wall when he's providing a block. He's a solid lad, and there's a big defensive hole now. But arguably the best defensive player in the league is going to be missing. I think there is a spot for Archie or Kobe Williamson to step up and get some decent minutes and really contribute to the team in these last 6 games before hopefully play-ins.
There's a reason why those boys are there, like Archie and the development players. There's a reason why they're there. They're obviously talented. they've been scouted by Scott Roth and his team, and exactly what the Jack Jumpers are looking for in their attitude, the way they go about training. So Archie, you never know. Archie could come out and be really effective on the defensive end and get you 8-10 points and a handful of rebounds, and that'd be a super thing for him and us.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as Scott sees a liability, if he's being a liability and being a negative on the play, he'll just be pulled, and it'll be back to Majuk and Bannon to carry the load for the bigs. But in saying that, the guards are ultra important now. If they can create a few lanes, get a few easy layups, and even create that misconception that they're going to score from the paint, that could open up the game also. So they're driving in, the defense collapse. It could be a nice little pass off to Bannon. It could be a little pass off to Majuk. Could be a pass off to DJ for those little floaters and easy points. And that's when they all collapse in, and then we'll have Marshall, we'll have DJ, we'll have Ben Air when he comes on, shooting those open threes, and they should shoot them too. Like, just because last week was a bit of a failure as a team for 3-pointers last week, you got to shoot them. If they are wide open, they got to not hesitate. They're not pump fake. They just got to go bang straight up, go for that shot. And because everything and everyone's collapsed in, we've got a chance for a good offensive rebound. We're a pretty decent offensive rebounding team as well. So hopefully we can really open up the game for ourselves and play that free flowing, quick passing game that we need, and not get bogged down. I think I've said it a million times, not get bogged down on playing that ISO ball, which is the isolation ball one-on-one, which Hamilton bails us out so many times over and over again. It can't be good for the bloke, to be honest with you.
Well, on that, let's move on to our Who Needs to Lift section. I've got a player in mind, which is a bit controversial because he was probably leading our MVP right up until and a little bit after the FIBA break. But Josh Bannon, I think, needs to lift. Something has changed. I don't know whether it's his role. I don't know whether it's his confidence. But something has changed with the way Josh Bannon is playing, and he is nowhere near as dominant as he was earlier in the season. Since Christmas, he's gone 4, 11, 25, 13, 8, and 10. Not terrible numbers, not dire numbers, but we know the caliber of player Josh Bannon has been early in the season, where he was consistently hitting 20s.
20 and 10,
and basically giving us a double every game. That hasn't been the case since Christmas, and we don't know whether he's carrying a niggling injury. We don't know if the role has changed, but Bannon is a legit second option and probably our number one option now, and capable of blowing the game open. And we need that to come back drastically. Because his rebounding is still elite, but offensively he's just slowed down half a pace. How do you see it, mate?
Yeah, I agree with everything you've said there, but I also believe that teams are preparing for him now. They know how he moves. They're really preparing for him because he's got his role, and his role set in cement, but all the other teams now know where he is, what he's going to do next, sort of thing, where he will be standing, and though the three ball hasn't been dropping he hasn't been really taking as many as usual.
No.
But, I've seen him give up a wide open three at one stage. I can't remember, it was the last game of the game before. And I was like, why did he do that for? Like, he should just go for it. You got to shoot him. Anyway,
yep.
So I think they'll be prepared for him. They probably, he jumped him at the beginning of the season. It's like, oh yeah, no, he was a bench player. He wasn't that good, sort of thing. And then he comes to the JackJumpers and goes bang, 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 and they're like, oh, okay, they've taken up notice, and really have to dial in on him now, which is good, bad for us, but he's a good player.
Absolutely, and he's just seen. It seems to have that attitude where he loves a challenge, and I just get the way he speaks in press conferences. I don't think he's the sort of guy that will stay down for very long. I think he will go, he'll do the work, and he'll come back and he'll surprise us all. And I am tipping him this week to do that and come and just have a monster game. Again, we don't know anything, but potentially in the absence of Will Magnay. Have you got a who needs to lift yourself this week, mate?
This is going to be super controversial. Are you ready for this one?
Oh, I don't know if I am.
I think Scotty Roth has to.
It's a great point.
Yeah. So I dove into the numbers a little bit last podcast, and DJ getting like 16 minutes and all the numbers, like the starters were just used heavily in that game, whether he didn't trust what's going on or Birdo's conspiracy music of they've got a flu or something going around in the club. I don't know, but I think Scott really has to, if someone goes out there off the bench and gets hot, he should run with it and just let him run with it for a while. They got to get DJ on the court. I said it last week, got to get him on the court, give him the minutes, and yeah, he might make you a little bit frustrated with a couple of things that he might be doing or not doing, but just keep him on there. He's ready. I think he's ready for the explosion that we need. But Scott Roth, sorry, mate. I love Scotty, by the way.
Do you know what? It's maybe the biggest call we've ever made here on the Ants Nest to call out Scott Roth, because he is a iconic Tasmanian. We absolutely love him, but I find it hard to disagree. I think there's been something this year with Scott Roth, and maybe it's contributed to the inconsistent performances. I'd love to see a bit more of a solid plan B when it's not going well. We tried to hit the threes way too much in the game against Melbourne United. Scott Roth, we absolutely love you. There needs to be 40 bronze statues of you throughout the state. But mate, let's dig deep this week. Show us why you are the best coach in the league.
Definitely one of my idolized coaches, mate. I really, really love the way he speaks about the game. I love the way he gets around Tasmania. I love the way he is who he is. He makes no apologies about who he is as a person and who he is as a coach. And I am 100% sure that behind closed doors and at the stadium down there where they practice, he rides them hard too. Yeah. And that's the sort of coach I think I'm hoping he'll really get up him, and he's saying, look, boys, we've got to really knuckle down. We've got to get back to our sets. We've got to be doing what we're meant to be doing, or even changing it up a little bit and shaking it up and saying, hey, let's use this as our starting lineup. Even put Archie in there, start him in there with Bannon, and just see what happens. Like anything could happen, but you've got to have those plans and contingencies for anything that could happen in a game. And so much stuff happens in a game, we only see a quarter of it on the TV. Yep. There's so much more into it than we see, and we're nuffies too. So
absolutely, we are reserves football players pretending to be basketball experts. That's where we're at. Yeah, well, you played a few more ones games than I did, but I was well and truly a reserves specialist. Key matchup for this one, mate. Who are you watching?
Yeah, I think your guy Marshall on Kendrick, straight up. You know,
Yep.
he has probably done himself a mischief by playing so well on Cotton a couple of games ago, and then playing pretty good on CG. You know, he's come up as being a very, very, very handy defender. He's chippy, he's a bit edgy. You like that? He's probably been listening to the doctor a little bit too much at some stages. Gets fired up, but he's just a really, really good matchup for Kendrick. It is Kendrick, isn't it? Yeah, Kendrick. He's going to be a good matchup. He's going to dig in. He's going to be in his face. And, you know, if he gets that open three ball, my God, you know, he does shoot really well. He's got a really good form, gets his feet under him, you know, doesn't take too many risks with his shots. You know, he only take, like Tiger Campbell, who only take what's there. And that's a good thing.
Absolutely. He has really found a role for himself. And we mentioned this a couple of episodes ago, was not necessarily known as a defensive player when he came to the JackJumpers. But, boy, last 2 weeks to comprehensively beat Bryce Cotton and Chris Goulding, two of the cleanest shooters in the NBL. It's scary how good he can be.
He's even got national attention over it now. Like that's the level that he's set himself now, and he has to try and emulate that every time. You know, like he's got to be him and do what he needs to do. And yeah, he's going to have games where someone gets on top of him. He's going to get screened upon and moved out of the way a little bit, but he's just got to keep fighting and keep being annoying. And, you know, as you like to call him, the court martial or the Bryce Cotton something or whatever.
Cotton stopper.
Cotton stopper. What was CG?
The Goulding grappler.
Well, let's make him the Kendrick killer, shall we?
The Kendrick killer, yes. That's going to be a headline for the next game. Who are you tipping for this game, mate? What's your prediction?
Oh, it's hard. I really want to say the Jackies, but I actually think the Kings are going to get us this one. I think it's going to be another scrapped out, low scoring game. It's going to be, you know, probably 7 points to them, and I really don't want it to be. But yeah, that's my head's telling me that, but not my heart.
Yeah, I think without Will Magnay, it proves to be very, very difficult against a team who has hit its straps in the at the right time of the season. Every one of their players seems to be playing really, really well. Whether it's Kendrick Davis, whether it's that Suarez. I don't know how many minutes Delhi's been getting, but the influence he would have over that team would be immense. It's like having a second coach on the field.
Straight into the devil's
on the court. I know I get pulled up on that every podcast, Fred. On the court, I agree with you. I think we might go. I think we might go 2 losses in a row this week. Prove us wrong, Scotty. We can do it. I'm not giving up by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to be very tough.
And hopefully Scott doesn't know my address.
You might have a burning cross on your front lawn.
I might have to just move house altogether. I'll come over.
You'll have to. Yeah, move over to WA.
Yeah.
Although he's got contacts over here as well, being an ex-Wildcats coach. So.
I'll move to New Zealand then, see what happens.
Well, that is about all we've got time for in this episode of the Ants Nest. Do go back and listen to our review episode versus Melbourne, where we were a little bit down in the dumps, but some really good points were made. And if you don't mind, please hit the subscribe button. We've got a goal to hit 50 subscribers by the end of the NBL season. So help us make that happen. We're at 41 at the moment. Help us hit 50. and you'll get notified every time there's a new ants nest come up. Fred, as always, thanks very much.
Thanks, JD. And let's go, Jackies. Come on. Not by 7.
All right. Thanks, Jackie's fans. Let's see you in the next one. March on.